What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide, back with another video. Today, I want to talk about a film from 1986, directed by James Cameron, the sequel to Alien, Aliens. Yes, this is a fantastic movie. If you've never seen it, highly recommended. You don't really need to watch Alien in order to watch this, although it's highly recommended, but you could probably get away with, the gist of it, because we kind of start the film off with Ripley out floating in space, after the events of Alien, and she gets picked up and brought to this outer space city, essentially, where she meets this cocksucker, or soon-to-be cocksucker guy, Bert. He's like this guy. Paul Racer plays the character. I actually like the character, even though he's a scumbag, but he convinces her, along with these other people, to come along on, or maybe she convinces them, it's hard to say, but they have like this little bit of a super smoke-filled room meeting where Ripley kind of gives the details of what happened and all that, and she eventually concedes and decides to go with Bert and this group of space marines to go back to the planet LV-426 and see what's going on, because apparently, since Ripley has left the planet and been in this deep hypersleep, they've sent all these terraformers to the planet in order to create an environment worthy of living, like putting oxygen and all that stuff. And I think that's a really cool idea, first of all, but Ripley is convinced that they are going to get fucking murdered, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So one of my favorite parts of this film is all of these space marines and all of their uniqueness, and there's none of them are the same. They're all different, even the ones that are kind of just throwaway, they're all their own person, which I really like. Vasquez, of course, Drake. So it's Drake and Vasquez who are the this is gonna be totally fucked, but the Jesse Ventura of Aliens, from Predator, with the big minigun, and obviously Bill Paxton as Hudson, Michael Biehn as Hicks is fucking great. I don't know the name of the actor, but whoever plays Frost is really cool. Apone is one of my favorite characters in the film, and honestly, one of my favorite characters is Bishop. I love Lance Hendrickson in this film. I love how they kind of play around with the fact that he might be scumbag, kind of Ash, right? Ash is the artificial person from the first one, played by fucking Bilbo Baggins, Ian Holmes. Is that his name? I hope so. But anyways, once we meet all these guys, and it's kind of around the breakfast table that we get one of my favorite moments of this movie. First of all, I love how they have this machine you just go up to and press some buttons and you get whatever you want kind of food thing. If you've ever seen the movie Spy Kids, there's a thing like that where you put this little cartridge inside of a microwave and it turns into a big fucking meal. But I don't know why I'm mentioning Spy Kids in this film, but it kind of reminded me of that. So Bishop, who's this cybernetic person who you don't find out for the next couple of minutes, does this knife trick. So Hudson, played by Bill Paxton, is like, "Hey, Bishop, do the knife thing, man." And so he comes over, about to do the knife thing, and then Drake comes up behind and puts his hand over top of Bishop's to do that knife thing. And when I was a kid, I thought that this movie invented that. I thought this was an invention of this film. Totally wrong. But I just love that. I love how he's it's very cool. Love that moment. And I love all the little interaction between the soldiers, when they're talking about those Arturian girls, and he's like, "Yeah, but you banged an Arturian man," and he's like, "It doesn't matter when they're Arturian." All that kind of little banter is so awesome, and it's just believable. I'm pretty sure that, and I know this happens a lot of times with films, they'll get all the cast together and kind of have them hang out for a few weeks beforehand, so there's an authenticity to it's an organic camaraderie. It's not forced, and obviously keeping Sigourney Weaver away from that to emphasize on her sort of third wheel thing. Maybe not being a third wheel, but being knowing that shit is serious and everyone else is kind of taking it as a joke. Obviously, when she delivers that speech where when they're all kind of sitting around in the base or whatever, and the lieutenant is like, "Oh, this is Ripley, she's going to tell you," and then Ripley gets into her stuff. Vasquez makes that comment about show me where they are and all that shit. And Ripley's just like, you know, I hope you're right. I hope you're fucking right. And obviously when we get to the planet, after an amazing scene where they're all kind of readying up and, you know, Apone sort of like, there's like this kind of single take shot that goes through a little bit of the compound, and they're all getting ready to get on this little vehicle that goes into this plane, and everything's like total fucking practical effect, and it's amazing. Matte paintings, practical effects, like this is the shit that I really like. I think maybe that's why I'm drawn so close to this film, you know. Not only that, but we get like this, all these fucking characters that are so cool and interesting, and they're all, like I said, they're all their own person. They all have like shit written on them, like painted on their stuff, and like Vasquez has that big gun and it says adios on it, and I just really like that stuff. And I love how Bill Paxton is like, spends the first who knows how long acting and talking like he's the ultimate badass, and even says he's the ultimate badass when they're in the plane. And then it's like, once shit really hits the fan, he's the one, game over, man, game over, all that stuff. And one of my favorite lines is when Hudson, there's Newt, the little girl who they discover living in this compound. She's in the way. Hudson comes up, moves her out of the way, and goes, "Christ, kid, look out!" And like blasts this fucking alien in the head. That's one thing about this film. Like, in the first movie, there's alien, and in this one, there's like, who the fuck knows how many aliens. There's tons of them. I love when they're looking at that little heartbeat thing, and they see like a whole wave of them, and he goes, "Christ, it's a town meeting down there," or some shit. Just like, you know, little goofy lines like that. And obviously, the amount of, you know, gun violence, or not, I don't want to say gun violence like I'm saying it is a bad thing, but like the amount of gunplay in this film, the amount of explosions, you know, the fucking sentry gun setup, taking out all these asshole aliens, and man, like it's really cool. And as far as I know, I'm pretty sure I watched the making of documentary of this quite a long time ago, but I think there's only like maybe 10 like aliens, but the way they filmed it, they made it look like there was like hundreds. Like even that one scene where I think Hudson like looks up into the vent and you see all of them coming. Like I think there's like maybe 6, but just it looks like there's way more, and that's awesome. And it's a fucking spectacular piece of cinema right here, man. I think that obviously Alien is a great accomplishment, cinematic accomplishment, really good stuff, blending sci-fi with horror. Probably one of the first ones to do it that effectively, not discounting the films of the 50s and so on and so forth, but Alien really set a precedent for that type of film. And then Aliens came along and just basically mopped the floor with every kind of alien film and alien ripoff film to come with this movie right here. So I would also recommend checking out the channel Alien Theory, which is run by a buddy of mine who, I remember, his name's Hi, this is Derek, and he made a lot of YouTube reviews and shit, like same kind of stuff as me. And then he started this channel called Alien Theory, and now the thing's got like fucking 500,000 subscribers, and he's loving it, and it's great. So check out that channel if you're really into like the lore. I wouldn't say I'm as like nearly as obsessed as Derek, but I really do like the stuff, and it's cool. Aliens also came with a lot of really good stuff like comic books, crossovers with the Predator, all that kind of shit. Some of those comics are really badass, and the artwork is fantastic, and it's, you know, they're sort of dismissed as like the 4 for $1 bin stuff, but I think with time they will definitely earn their keep, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, man, Aliens is a spectacular film. I feel like I didn't really talk too much about some of the major plot points that I like in this movie, but it's just, go watch the goddamn thing. You know, like I said, I love Apone, I love Hicks, Hudson, Ripley's good. You know, I love Vasquez, think she's so badass. I love how Vasquez is like this like total like Chicano chick, badass with like a bandana in this film, but then you look at a movie like Terminator 2 and she's like a total housewife, you know. But then you also, and her name's Jeanette Goldstein, by the way, then you look at a movie like Near Dark, you know, where once again you blend, you know, Lance Hendrickson, Jeanette Goldstein, and fucking Bill Paxton, which I did a video talking about Near Dark for 31 Days of Horror this year. If you didn't check it out, check that shit out if you so must. But yeah, this time it's war, like it says on the top. I'm gonna leave it at that. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you leave a 666 in the comments. And with that being said, game over, man.